Most people think that discipline is about being tough or having a crazy tolerance compared to everybody else, but that's not actually what discipline is. That is suffering for the sake of suffering when it's not actually necessary to achieve your goals. When I was 20 years old, I was addicted to drugs, struggling financially. I didn't have the friends that I wanted, and I was in a career that I absolutely hated. And I was such a mess. I thought to myself, oh, I'm just not a disciplined person. Now I run $1 million a year business, and I work from anywhere in the world doing what I love. And all of that's possible because I installed systems into my environment to make achieving my goals possible. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact systems that I use so that you can use them too. So most people fall into this discipline trap because they think that being disciplined is just making their life hard, which is not actually what it is. Or that discipline is just willpower and forcing yourself to do hard things. We're fucking humans with emotions. You can't just force yourself to do things all the time. You can't just rely on emotions. You can't just rely on willpower. And that's exactly what willpower is. It's an emotion. And emotions come and go. They change every single day. Sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm motivated, sometimes I'm not. And no matter how I'm feeling, I still show up every single day in the same way because I've created discipline. Now, what most people do is they set these massive goals where they want to go to the gym every day and they want to eat healthy and they want to, completely change their life overnight, and they never put in place systems to actually make it possible. So what happens is they'll show up for maybe a day, 2 days, 3 days, and actually follow this routine. But then by day 3 or 4, they're feeling lazy or tired or not motivated, and they just skip a little bit. And then by day 7, they skip a little bit more. And then by day 8, they're completely off the fucking wagon and there's no coming back. And then you feel like a failure and you feel lazy because you didn't actually do what you said you were going to do. And then we create this whole cycle where we call ourselves not disciplined or not consistent. And we feed this perpetuating cycle, this idea that we're not disciplined or we're not consistent, when that's just what you're fucking saying to yourself. The real problem isn't that you want to be disciplined and that you're not disciplined. It's your approach. It's your strategy or lack thereof strategy. You can't muscle your way into discipline and you can't force it. And I just need to give you this little perspective shift. You are consistent and you are disciplined. You're just not disciplined in the exact habits that you want to be yet. And here I'll give you an example. You show up consistently every single day for a job that you hate. You're consistent. You show up every single day as a mom when your kids need you, no matter how you feel. You're disciplined. You are just not disciplined or consistent in the ways that you want to be yet. And that's where this video is going to come in. So what exactly is the solution? You need to set up systems to be disciplined. The idea with discipline is not that you're going to muscle your way into it or do it based on willpower. It's that you're going to create systems in your life so that it is so easy to be disciplined. It's actually harder not to be. So a system is basically a set of processes or an environmental design that makes desired behaviors automatic and eliminates the need for constant decision making, because this is the problem with discipline. It's not that you aren't disciplined. It's that you are constantly having to force yourself to make the decision to keep the commitment. But when you make these decisions automatic, when you make these decisions part of your routine, discipline becomes simple and not doing it becomes harder, actually. So with the willpower approach, you're relying on daily decisions. You require constant motivation. It's energy straining AF. And you fail under stress. But with the systems approach, making decisions becomes automatic. It removes the need for motivation. It's energy preserving, and it works regardless of your mood. So all that to say, when you create proper systems in your life, you remove the need for daily decisions. So how exactly do you set a system? Well, there's 3 pillars to automatic discipline. Pillar number 1 is you have to remove the friction. So this is going to make it so the desired action is so easy that it's harder to say no. We've said this a couple times in this video now. But every extra step that you have to make is an opportunity to quit. So you have to reduce your activation energy. I'll give you an example. If you want to work out every day, maybe something that's holding you back or causing friction is that you don't know how to get dressed for the day. Do you get dressed in your workout outfit and you work from home for a little bit and then you go to the gym and then you have to change, and that's an opportunity for friction. It sounds stupid. It really does. But part of the reason that sometimes I don't go to the gym is because I need to film in the same day and I don't really know how to get dressed in the morning. So if I'm getting dressed for the gym, then I am getting dressed for the gym. If I'm getting dressed for filming, then I'm getting dressed for filming. And so on the days that you know you need to go to the gym, get dressed for the gym in the morning or leave your gym clothes out so it's easy to access. Instead of a goal like I'm going to eat healthy, maybe every single Sunday you meal prep. And that becomes non-negotiable. And that sets you up for eating healthy every single day. You no longer have to make decisions about what you're going to eat at every meal. You already know because it's already planned out. Something actually completely unhinged that I did recently was that I was noticing a ton of friction around when I needed to film. And that's because I noticed when we moved into this house, half the house was completed and half the house was not completed. So I had these rooms that were like half wallpaper ripped off, or like they had like putty on the walls and they looked like crazy. And then half the house was beautiful. But the half of the house that was beautiful gets a lot of direct afternoon sun. So there's a lot of direct sunlight coming in the windows. It's hard to film because you get these weird shadows, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I was noticing a ton of friction around filming. So what did I do? I removed the friction. We ended up hiring a painter to come and finish the other half of the house, which it ended up being 4 days of work for 5 guys, which is like 160 hours of work, which would have taken me forever to do. Was that a little bit unhinged and like a little bit kind of crazy? Most people can't probably just, hire a painter off because you feel like it. But the point still stands, right? It's a situation where I could remove friction to make it easier to film. And if it's easier to film, then I can film more, which means I can output more, which means I can work on my business faster. And it means that I'm not spending as much time with these mental decision making, right? You know how sometimes you spend like 40 minutes avoiding a task before you actually do the task, and then the task takes you like 20 minutes? That's the decision-making period we're trying to eliminate with this friction. So if you're trying to set up a new habit, you need to look at the habit and say, okay, why do I keep deciding not to do this habit? That's your friction point that you need to remove. The second pillar is to make it inevitable. This is basically where you're putting something into your calendar, you're scheduling it in, you're making it part of your schedule, you're making it part of your day-to-day so that you cannot miss it, so that it feels weird to miss it. I want you to think about work. Like, work is scheduled into your calendar. You show up to work every single day. Why? Probably because you would get fired if you didn't, and there's a consequence. So why don't you give yourself some damn consequences? Whenever people ask me how I'm so productive or how I get so much done, and I tell them what I did to do that, they actually think I'm insane, and it is a little psycho, but I wanted to be somebody that was productive. I wanted to be somebody that accomplished a lot. I wanted to be somebody that was completely locked in. And so what did I do? I scheduled every single minute of my day for months at a time. I scheduled my free time. I scheduled my reading time. I scheduled my breaks. I scheduled when I was making my supplements. Like, I scheduled every minute of every day for months, and I followed it to a T, because so many of you will abide by everybody else's schedule. You'll abide by your family schedule, the soccer schedule, the work schedule. You'll abide by everybody else's schedule, but why won't you abide by your own schedule? So, every single day was literally like, wake up. First 15 minutes was like getting out of bed and brushing my teeth and like getting dressed. And then it was like making my supplement. And it was just 15 to 20 to 30 minute blocks every single hour for my entire day for months and months and months and months. That way I didn't have to rely on finding time, or when I did have chunks in my day where I had time, I knew what I was supposed to be doing. Sometimes our task lists get so long that we don't know what we're supposed to be doing in that time. So that's where time blocking comes in and helps you with this. But you need to schedule these things into your schedule and treat it like a meeting you can't miss. You want to eat healthier? You need to schedule in a couple hours on Saturday where you're meal prepping. And this is non-negotiable. Like, I don't care if your friend wants to go to brunch. I don't care if your mom called you to go shopping. Like, you can go after you do your meal prep or before you do your meal prep. But this time block, this time that I've set aside for myself every single Sunday, this is meal prepping time. This is me time. This is where I'm showing up for myself time. So maybe your goal is to start writing more content. And right now you're relying on when inspiration strikes, or when you feel like writing content, or when you feel inspired or motivated. Maybe you set in a content writing block every single morning at 9 a.m. and you open your laptop at 9 a.m. every single morning and you write for 30 minutes, whether you feel like it or not. Some days the content that will come out of it will be really great. Sometimes the content will not, but at least you're consistently working that muscle and consistently building that habit. Pillar number 3 is to design your environment. This is where you are making changes in your actual environment to make sure that you align with these actions and with these systems. So if your goal is to eat less junk food, don't buy the junk food. Like, don't have it in your house. Why would you buy the junk food? I understand some of y'all got kids, but like, come on. Your family has to be on board with your goals. Why are you trying to do your goals alone? I'm getting a little off topic here, but this is the crazy thing to me, is that women especially will set goals and then they will still continue to bend to their family's bad habits. Their family doesn't get on board with their goals. But yet, if your man set a goal, you'd be the first one to get on board with it. So whatever, take that for what you will. Maybe if your goal is to stop picking up your phone while you're working and have more focused time on work, your phone needs to be in the other room. I mean, I just ordered this little brick thing. It goes on your refrigerator. It's called a brick. I don't know, whatever. And you program it to basically turn your phone into a dumb phone. So you can go walk to the fridge and click the little brick and it will turn off all of these apps on your phone that you set. And then you have to actually physically go back to the brick and touch your phone to it again for it to unfreeze your phone. Now, if this brick is in the kitchen and you're all the way in bed, this is great because it creates a lot of friction. So you can stop scrolling like a crazy person in bed or scrolling first thing when you wake up. What are the actual tools that you can put into your environment to make sure that you are actually being disciplined? And realistically, you need to understand this about discipline. The people that you think are more naturally disciplined than you, they're not. They just set themselves up for success. They just built better systems than you. It's not about being strong enough to resist temptation. It's about building a life where temptation isn't even a thing. So once you understand those 3 pillars of discipline, that you need to remove friction, make it inevitable, and adjust your environment accordingly, then you can use these next 4 steps to actually set up your discipline systems. So step 1, you're going to choose one behavior. Do not try to overhaul your whole life. Come on. We're going to choose one behavior. It's this conversation of people confuse consistency and intensity. Just because you are not intense does not mean you are not consistent. We should change one thing at a time and make it manageable. And if you try to set something in place or a habit in place and it feels too hard or there's too much friction, your ego is probably in the way. Meaning maybe you go to the gym and you're lifting really freaking heavy and it's really hard to go to the gym, and every time you go to the gym you are feeling so sore and it hurts and it's just really, really heavy, and every gym session is super intense. That's your ego. That's you thinking that every single gym session has to be intense for it to be worthy. But really what's going to happen is eventually you're going to break down. There's going to continue to be this friction going to the gym because it's hard and you don't want to do it. You're not ready for that level of intensity yet. So choosing a behavior like waking up earlier, maybe your ultimate goal is to wake up at 5 a.m. every day so you can be super productive. But right now you're waking up at 10. Maybe you should bump it back to 7 and get used to that and then bump it back again. But if something feels too hard to start implementing, it's your ego. Step 2 is you're going to apply the 3 pillars that we talked about. So you're going to take this habit and you're going to remove the friction, make it inevitable, and set your environment up for success. So to remove friction, you can ask yourself, what steps can I eliminate in the decision-making process? Maybe for food, like I said, this is meal prepping. Maybe for the gym, this is, having your gym shoes by the door or putting on your workout clothes in the morning if you can, or something as simple as having your gym bag with you when you go to work. How can I start making it easier? Like I said, discipline is not supposed to be hard. This is supposed to be about creating systems. This is not about willpower. This is not about muscling your way in. You want this to be simple so that you can do it forever. To make it inevitable, you need to choose actually when you're going to do it. What day are you going to do it? What time are you going to do it? Put it in your calendar. Make it something that you have to visually look at. And then designing your environment is what needs to be removed from your environment. What needs to be changed about your environment? What could be added to make this easier? What are some visual cues that you need? But apply these 3 pillars to one behavior that you want to create more discipline around. Step 3, we kind of just talked about this, but start small. You don't need to go from 0 to 100. They talk about this in Atomic Habits where if you want to get consistent at going to the gym every single day, for the first week, I just want you to drive to the gym, park in the parking lot, and sit there for 2 minutes and then leave. Don't even go inside. And then the next week, you're going to drive, you're going to go inside and you're going to walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes and then you're going to leave. And now you've started building up this habit slowly, and eventually going to the gym for a 30-minute workout is going to just be so simple. But it's because you didn't go from 0 to 100. Once the system works, then you can expand it. But again, it's all ego if it feels too hard at the beginning. And step 4, give it at least 2 weeks. Systems can take a little bit of time to become automatic, so you need to commit to at least 2 weeks of discipline before you start judging yourself. Now, the most common mistakes that people make when they're implementing this system is going to be number 1, trying to change too much at once. Number 2, making their systems way too freaking complicated. Number 3, relying on motivation. Number 4, not tracking your progress. And I want to expand on this a little bit. There was this goal that I wanted to hit when I was in network marketing. It was called MVP. And MVP was selling 25 boxes of our product to new customers every single month. And I would look at this goal and I would be like, I'm going to hit this. And then I would get to the end of the month and I'd be like, crap, I'm nowhere near hitting this. And that happened over and over and over and over again. And I was like, why am I struggling to hit this so much? Why can't I create a habit of hitting this bonus every single month? Well, the thing that I implemented that actually changed the entire game for me was when I implemented a sticker chart. I had these cutie little sticker charts that I would print out every single month, and I would change them so that they were aligned with the month. Like in October, they were spooky. In November, they had like little turkeys on them, and I got like different stickers for every single month. So it was like cutesy, fun, and it brought me a lot of joy. And it had like 25 boxes on it. And every time I would sell a box of this product, I would put a sticker on it, and I would put a sticker on and a sticker on it. And I just got so excited to put the stickers on and to fill the sticker chart up that it became making this habit completely disciplined way easier. And actually, I got so good at this habit that instead of hitting this bonus once a month, I would hit it 3, 4, 5 times a month, and I would see how many times I could hit it that month. But again, it's growing that intensity by creating focus and tracking what you're doing. And mistake number 5 is quitting after one failure. I heard this guy on social media one time say, you can suck, but you can't miss. So if you're creating the habit of going to the gym every single day, maybe one day you really don't feel like going, and maybe you just go inside and you like walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes and then you leave. You sucked that day, but you didn't skip, because the hardest time to skip is the first time. The hardest time to quit on your habits, or the hardest time to stop your habits, or the hardest time to quit on your discipline is the first time. But once you've done it once, it's easy to quit again and again and again, and then that's how we get to the point where we're not doing it at all. So leaving this video today, I want you to do 5 things. I want you to choose the one behavior that you're gonna change. I want you to write down the friction that you're experiencing. Then I want you to schedule it into your calendar. And then I want you to write down what you need to remove from your environment to make this habit easier. In step 5, I want you to build your very first discipline system and implement. At the end of the day, you have to stop focusing on being disciplined and start focusing on the systems that will make you the person that you wanna be. And if you want to apply this exact same framework to building a UGC business, come join my next free live UGC masterclass by clicking the link below.